Tibetan Review, 30th of March 2024, a Chinese professor cautions that Bhutan's India-bonhomie hampers Tibet-border negotiations. China has been threatening Bhutan and taking over its territory as part of its all-out war on the Indian subcontinent. A Chinese researcher has cautioned that the recent upsurge in goodwill between India and Bhutan could have obvious and direct effects on China's attempts to settle its long-standing border conflict with the Himalayan monarchy over occupied Tibet. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated a cooperation that is not limited to land and water during his trip to Bhutan last week. He became the first foreigner to be awarded the Order of the Druk Gyalpo, or Dragon King, Bhutan's most prestigious civilian award. He also hosted a private dinner at King Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuck's Lingkana palace and doubled India's 5-year plan assistance to Bhutan to more than $1 billion. A week before Modi's March 22 to 23 visit, Jigme, the Prime Minister of Bhutan, who was recently elected in January 2024, discussed the issue with senior Indian officials in Delhi. Although he tried to ease any concerns, Lotay Tshering, the predecessor of Jigme, was perceived as unduly eager to resolve the Tibet border conflict with China, which most likely involved land swaps that would seriously jeopardize India's security concerns. In any case, Lotay Tschering's insistence that the border conflict could be resolved quickly, during the next 2 or so rounds of negotiations between the two parties, was perceived to have caused concerns in New Delhi. However, Lin Minwang, Deputy Director of the Center for South Asian Studies at Shanghai's Fudan University, has stated that the influence on the boundary talks between China and Bhutan may be obvious and direct in light of the recent events. According to scmp.com, there has been some momentum since 2020, and the negotiations have achieved significant progress. Lin was quoted on March 29. "Both sides are waiting for a breakthrough opportunity, but I believe there may be some changes now." However, since neither Beijing nor Thimphu released information, it has never been evident how far the border talks had progressed. However, the report pointed out that the two nations were inching towards the completion of a 3-step roadmap on boundary delineation, according to then Prime Minister of Bhutan, Lotay Tshering, who is seen as a China-friendly figure, in an interview with The Hindu last year. One proposed solution was reportedly a land swap, including the Doklam region, which Bhutan controls. However, Bhutan said India must be a party to such negotiations. Bhutan rejected China's initial package deal proposal from 1996, which called for trading Jakarlung and Pasamlung for a smaller disputed area centered on Doklam, Sinchulumpa, and Gu. Instead, the report stated that in 1998, the parties agreed to halt negotiations while they continued their discussions. Lin stated that the territorial conflicts between China and Bhutan were not that big in principle, which reflects Beijing's perspective and aspirations. The fundamental question is whether Bhutan is prepared to defy India and whether it has decided to resolve the disputes. India is highly cautious of any land transfer that would give China a strategic advantage on the Doklam Plateau, notwithstanding Bhutan's assurances. The plateau sits near the Siliguri Corridor, a narrow strip of land that connects parts of West Bengal and India's 8 northeastern states to the rest of the nation. It is around 20 kilometers, 14 miles, broad at its narrowest point. A trade like this would increase India's opening to Chinese occupying forces in Tibet, as the two Asian superpowers are already at odds over their disputed borders in the Himalayas, which span more than 3,000 kilometers. Following remarks made by Lotay Tshering, the Prime Minister of Bhutan from 2013 to 2018, regarding a potential land swap with Beijing, discussions in India began regarding whether Thimphu was finding it difficult to reach a deal without Delhi's support. The report stated that the former Prime Minister had to clarify that Bhutan had not changed its position. In general, although China has consistently pushed for closer ties with other South Asian countries, such as Sri Lanka, the Maldives, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal, hosting their leaders in Beijing and funding several infrastructure projects in the area, India's relationship with China has remained strained since the violent border clashes along the Ladakh border in 2020.